I don't know about you guys, but this has to be the coolest shirt in my closet. Okay? Just thought I'd put that out there. Guys, okay, there are tons of things going on around our New York Knicks that I don't want to talk about. So I'm going to mention them here right now, and then we're going to talk about what I actually want to talk about after the intro. Like this one. Supposedly the New York Knicks have the odds to have the worst record in the league this season. Okay, thanks Vegas. Moving on. We also have rumors that the Knicks, because we still have so much cap available, that we make the most sense for destinations for what? Did that sentence even make sense? That we make the most sense as a destination for some players with expiring contracts. Players like Victor Oladipo, or even Russell Westbrook. It's looking like the Knicks are the possible suitor for a lot of these teams that are trying to trade away some contracts to make room for, other moves. So Victor Oladipo seems to still be in the plan. We already know with our boy Scott Perry, and I'm still not a hater on Scott Perry, but we know with Scott Perry being the one that drafted Victor Oladipo, he has love there and would love to give him a shot. So there could be a trade in the works to bring Victor Oladipo still to New York. And we heard rumors that Russell Westbrook, those trades have completely died, and the Knicks have stopped talking to the Rockets with that. But hey, still think that's a smokescreen. We'll see what happens with that next. But what I want to talk about in this video today is a question that I got a lot in my comment section on Twitter. I've seen the homie Sim over from Nothing But Knicks and Terry from Terry and Trey. Everyone was talking about it, and I want to give my 2 cents on this, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And that is, what the hell is our starting lineup going to be? What's going on, CK Crew? Your boy CK2K here, and welcome back to another video. People, if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you know when these videos are coming out. I know when you don't hit the notification bell because y'all are talking about, yo, CK, I didn't see that video today. Well, if you hit the bell, you're going to see the video. And also, huge shout out to the CK Crew members. I haven't shouted you out in a few videos because it's been a crazy, crazy time. But we need to show some love to these beautiful people right here. Look at those names go. Shout out to all of the CK Crew members. We had a huge influx of new family members during our last live stream for the NBA draft, and we had some new ones that came after the fact. Appreciate all of the support. Like I said, all of the support you guys give me goes back to the channel. I promise you on that. So thank you guys so much. And if you can't, don't even worry about it. Appreciate you for being here anyways. All right, we got to talk about the starting lineup, because the starting lineup is something that, if you really think about it, what is our starting lineup? You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's so many ways that we can go about it. I see people going out of their way to try and justify Obi Toppin as a 3 in the NBA, and I'm not a fan of that. I feel like that's a huge waste of what he can be. Obviously, we know his biggest problem is his defensive abilities. Now, mind you, I still truly believe that he can be a more consistent shot blocker with his athleticism, especially with guys like Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson on the same team. I really believe that he can up his ability as a shot blocker, but at the same time, we do know that he has a lot of work to do at the defensive end. But in the league that we live in today, he is a perfect power forward in today's NBA. That stretch for Obi Toppin has that down pat. But does that necessarily mean that Obi Toppin is our starting power forward? In an ideal situation, yes, I feel like he is the guy that is perfectly built for today's NBA. I think he has the potential to go out there and from the jump go out and average 16, 17 points per game in his rookie season starting at the power forward. But will that be the case? I don't think so, unfortunately. To be honest with you, the starting lineup, I think that will happen. Not the one I want, but the one I expect to see starting December 22nd or whenever our first game may be. I think our starting lineup is going to look like this. It's going to look like Elfrid Payton, either Austin Rivers or Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. I think that's going to be our starting lineup to start off this season. And here's why. It's crazy because in situations, especially when you have a lottery pick, more times than not, the lottery pick is going to be in the starting lineup, especially if it's a top 5 pick. But in situations like this where you come in and you have that veteran that's playing ahead of you, the veteran is going to be the one to get the shine. But I feel like the situation with Julius Randle is more than just the veteran getting more play. I think that there is more to it than just that. I mean, we talk about all the time, everybody people, in the comment section and on Twitter seem to, really want Julius Randle to get moved. Obviously, Julius Randle didn't have the prettiest season with us last year. I mean, you could look at his stats alone and think, well, Julius Randle played pretty well statistically. But watching the games, you can see that there was a lot of faults in Julius Randle's game. And I'm not going to sit here and bash Julius Randle. I just don't think he fits with us. Him and RJ Barrett are similar type players, and they don't mesh well together. We saw Elfrid Payton try to force feed him a lot last year, which took away from some amazing, tremendous games that RJ Barrett could have potentially rounded out to having last year. There was so many situations where it just didn't make sense, and I feel like that we're going to see a continuation of that. Hopefully we get a better version of Julius Randle when he's coached by Tom Thibodeau, and that's no slight to Mike Miller. I don't think Mike Miller did a terrible job. I just think Mike Miller was doing what he could with what was given, and he did a great job with that. That being said, there's a bigger move ahead when it comes with Julius Randle, and because of the rumor that Julius Randle, there really wasn't any teams that were looking to make any trades for Julius Randle, he has to up his trade stock, and the Knicks are probably going to force that issue to start this season. So don't be surprised nor upset if you see the Knicks force feeding the ball to Julius Randle a lot to begin the season. That just might be the case, a lot similar to like what we did with Marcus Morris, where we're going to force feed Julius Randle, help his stats look a lot better, help him look like the player that he looked like in New Orleans, to hopefully up his trade stock so he possibly gets moved around the trade deadline. And with that means that Obi Toppin comes off the bench. Does that affect his minutes though? We'll see, because we know Tom Thibodeau has a very big reputation to not really play a lot of his bench players as much as his starting unit. And fortunately for Obi Toppin, Julius Randle is just as defensively inept as he is. So it's not like, because we know Tom Thibodeau is a defensive-minded guy. It's not like because of Julius Randle's defensive play, he's probably going to get more minutes. Obi Toppin could definitely steal the show and play slightly more defense than Julius Randle and steal more minutes, even though he might not be starting. But the point of what the beginning season of the season going to be, even though it might not be a favorite of ours, it's going to be upping the drafts, the trade stock of Julius Randle so he can get moved in the deal. Because let's be real, whether you like Julius Randle or not, we drafted Obi Toppin. We picked him 8th overall, 22, has a full future, best player in college in a lot of people's opinions, mine included. He's definitely going to be the guy that you are trying to start for the long term, for the future. So be that as it may, Julius Randle is not no standout all-star, no standout superstar where, whatever he says goes. It's one of those things that, he had the opportunity last year to be the leader. He did okay with it, and we know what Julius Randle is. So you gotta groom him so he can get traded, so we can get the best out of any kind of trade that includes Julius Randle, unless he's a part of it, whether it's Russell Westbrook trade, Victor Oladipo trade, whatever the case may be. I definitely see Julius Randle being our starting 4 so he can be shipped out. That's literally the situation. But then you come back to me and what I hope to see our starting lineup actually be. I personally would love to see a starting lineup of Frank Ntilikina, Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson. I love that starting lineup. That to me is a balanced starting lineup. I feel like Mitchell Robinson can camouflage a lot of the mistakes that Obi Toppin may make on the defensive end. I think Mitchell Robinson will be able to help a lot with a lot of those mistakes that he makes. I also think that with the combination of Alec Burks, Frank Ntilikina and RJ Barrett, they each can cover each other for a lot of the negatives that each of the players may have. We know Frank Ntilikina's shooting hasn't been consistent, but we know Alec Burks is a guy that goes and gets the bucket, so he can be the offensive end. And his defense is pretty average, where Frank Ntilikina shines on the defensive end, and RJ Barrett is upping his game on all those fronts, but we know that, his shooting is definitely something that needs to be needed. But when you have a break with Frank Ntilikina and RJ Barrett, who knows what can come from guys like Alec Burks, Mitchell Robinson, and Obi Toppin. So to me, that lineup of Frank Ntilikina, Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson just seems like the most balanced lineup for our starting 5. Like, that is a lineup I can look at and be happy with to start every game. Like, whether we're losing or winning, I can enjoy this lineup. And for those who are curious as to why RJ Barrett would be starting at the 3 and think that he should not be starting at the 3, until his jump shot becomes more regular and becomes more consistent, I think the best place for him is to play that forward position, to be next to a guard that can shoot until the jump shot becomes more consistent. I really truly believe that RJ Barrett will get a jump shot. We've seen this case with players of his caliber way too much in the past. RJ Barrett is a guy that wants to be better and puts in the work. And his jump shot for last season, for not being the greatest shooter, was not terrible. His jump shot is there. We saw that it got changed up a little bit. It looks a little bit more pretty, a little bit more unorthodox with the way it was moved, but the shot is going in at a higher clip, and hopefully that's something that shows in the actual game rather than just showing in scrimmages. So if RJ Barrett gets his shot together, I would love to see him go back to the 2. I think the 2 is his natural position, being another guard, especially if, with Frank Ntilikina, especially if RJ Barrett's offensive game goes up, putting him next to Frank Ntilikina. I would love that. But for this lineup, definitely put him next to a guy like Alec Burks, where you can get some more shooting, because that's another problem we have. We don't have much shooting in our starting 5 in the past, but you get Obi Toppin now, you get Alex Burks, and you get the hopeful growth within from RJ Barrett and Frank Ntilikina, and even Mitchell Robinson. I would love to see you shoot some mid-range shots. You don't have to go straight to the 3-point game. I mean, if you're open in the corner, let it fly, but let's see you expand a little bit and get some of those mid-range shots, because we know you can shoot them. You've been showing us for the last 9 months that you can shoot it, so go out there and shoot the damn ball. There was some situation last year where you were wide open and everyone was just like, let it fly, and you chose not to shoot. So Mitchell Robinson, I really hope to see you shoot some more, because that could definitely expand our game if the shots that you're making in open gyms actually go in the actual game. And I really believe that that's the kind of player that you can be. So it might not be pretty, it might be ugly. We might have to see some more Julius Randle, especially if he's starting with Elfrid Payton. Might have to see some more of that play that really is going to give us all headaches. But at the same time, we could possibly see a better version of Julius Randle, because we have to remember the fact that we have Kenny Payne in the mix as well, who is there to work with not just his old Kentucky players, but to work with the forwards. And Julius Randle played really well at Kentucky, no matter how you might feel about his game. Julius Randle was a top 3 pick for a reason, because of how he played in Kentucky. And hopefully Kenny Payne can be the kind of guy that can unlock that from him and unlock the player that we remember in his rookie season in Kevin Knox as well. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of possibilities that can come with the development that we have on our coaching staff, but unfortunately, I don't expect to see our rookie Obi Toppin be the one to be starting in the starting 5. I would love it. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that there is a situation where we do see Obi Toppin in the starting lineup, but I would be very surprised if Obi starts over Julius Randle. I'd be very surprised. I don't know, but that's what I think you guys have to expect. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Do you think, to be damned with Julius Randle's trade stock, just start the rookie Obi Toppin because you know he's going to be an instant impact? Or do you think that we got to do what we got to do to make sure that we get the best that we can for Julius Randle, a lot similarly to what we did with Marcus Morris? Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the part of the video that we haven't had in the last few videos because of the craziness, but it's back now. It's time for comments of the video. So comments of the video, let's get with it. Starting with Tyler Grant. Shout out to Tyler Grant, new member. He says, are we not playing quickly? I hope we give him a chance. That's why I don't like the Payton signing. With the signing of Rivers, we have too many guards, because I would like RJ bullying 2s instead of tougher 3s. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Quickly might get a little bit of the short stick, a lot like Iggy Brazdeikis did. I really hope that Iggy breaks the rotation this year, to be honest. We need scoring, and I think Iggy B is the kind of guy that can get us shooting if he's put in the rotation and given actual minutes. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried that Quickly is going to be playing more in Westchester than he will be playing for the main team, because like you said, we got a lot of guards taking up the 1 and the 2 spot. I expect Dennis Smith Jr. to be getting a lot more burn. I expect Frank Ntilikina to get a lot of burn at the point guard. We've still got Elfrid Payton. There's going to be a lot of changing with Austin Rivers and Alex Burke. So I don't know. Quickly might fall out, might not be in the rotation, and that goes even back to somebody I'm really excited about, like Miles Powell. But at least we'll have him in the wings for our Westchester Knicks team as well. But yeah, Quickly might not be in the rotation. It's Tom Thibodeau. He keeps his rotation real tight, so probably not. Raymond Vendez says, hey CK, look, I hope your family's doing good, but hear me out. When the season starts, have halftime breaks followed by a brief post show. I'm still debating on what I'm gonna do. I really wanted, you guys really enjoyed when I did my full rundowns of the previous games the next day. I think I want to do that still this year, because you know what, we got guys like Knicks Fan TV out there that kill it in the post-show game. Even I'm somebody that goes to support CP and Jay Ellis for the post-show. Even go check out my boy Sim on Nothing But Knicks, and then let me do my whole recap the next day, because I like to watch the game another time, if not the full game a second time, especially some of these ugly games, the majority of the game a second time, so I can see why a player didn't score as many points, why a player didn't do as good. I want to see that stuff again, so it's easier for me to just rewatch it and then talk about it again the next day. So I think I'm gonna stick to that game plan. But we'll see. There are going to be some days where I'll be streaming during the game, so we can be watching it together as a crew. We'll probably do like CK Wednesdays or something like that, where whenever the Knicks have a game on Wednesday, we'll live stream it together. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out something fun to do. But I think I'm going to leave the post-game stuff for CP and Jay Ellis and Sim. And I'll just do my recap the following day of the previous game. I think I'm going to stick to that. But Raymond, I hear you. My man, halftime. You can get the halftime stuff on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and you'll get the I always live tweet, so you'll get all my live responses throughout. Dark41969. You are so right, CK2K. Thank you, bro. Thank you. These are smart moves. Rather than throwing away money on Russell Westbrook, I love Russ, just not on the version of the Knicks. Development is key, and patience. Before December 1st, something else will happen. I agree. I think that that's the case. And yes, we did not throw a single unnecessary, foolish bag at any player this offseason. I want you guys to sit down and think about that. Regardless of how you might feel about an Elfrid Payton or Austin Rivers or whoever it may be that you did not like as signing, think about the fact that we didn't throw unnecessary money at any of these players. So even if you don't like Elfrid Payton, he's on a 1-year deal. Even if you didn't like Austin Rivers, he's only on a 1-year guaranteed deal. I'm not saying anybody dislike Austin Rivers. I'm just using these guys as an example. This year, it's just been something completely different. So yeah, there's nothing to be upset about with this free agency. It might be another rough season for us to watch, but hey, this is a season where there won't be many fans in the stands in the Garden, or any fans in the stands for the Garden. So if there's any time for the Knicks to tank properly, this might be the year. And you know I don't like talking about the tank, but this could be the year. 2021 is supposed to be really big, so we got to be prepared for that. Hey, speaking of the devil, shout out to my man, Knicks Fan TV, CP, saying, great video, bro. The hat is fire. Yes, people, I need you to go show my man some love. Hold on. If you made it this far into the video, and I had a lot of comments on the hat, shout out to the homies over at WTCITY over on IG. This is their IG page right here. Link will be in the description below. Go cop their merch. Their merchandise is great. This is not paid. This is just me loving local brands and people that are out there hustling and doing the work. Go give their IG page a follow. Go check out their stuff. Pick it up. It is heat. He has a new drop coming on the way. He says he's gonna hook me up with some, so you know I'm gonna be representing my guy. Yeah, shout out to them. Love their stuff. Love this stuff. The hat's fire. Go check them out. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, this was a longer comment to the video, but I need to show some love to my lovely CK crew members, as well as you amazing supporters and subscribers in the CK crew. Appreciate you guys so much. Let me know all your thoughts about everything that was talked about in this video. Like I said, go show love. WTCITY over on IG. Go check them out. Links in the description. You know the deal. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Join the membership if you want to, right next to the subscribe button. Let's get it. Catch you guys in the next one. It's been your boy CK. I'm out.
Feeling like I won the lotto. Always taking trips with a new chick, asking where the time goes.